Have you ever heard about Star Wars movies? It's this new thing that they're working on. They're like these things that you watch it and it's one thing. And they call it a movie. And Star Wars is going to be making these now.
It's like a 40-minute thing?
Yeah, it's insane. Oh, hey everybody. Welcome to the Resistance broadcast. I'm John. This whole thing is just like twisting me upside down. I can't believe this. Star Wars is going to be making movies, breaking news. But thank you for joining us on this Monday. We are officially a little over a week away from us landing in Anaheim, California, and going to Star Wars Celebration. Very excited. James and Lacey with me here as always. Yes, so we're going to get into this in a little bit. There's actually news about Star Wars movies. Because, I mean, I'm sick and tired of the Disney Plus thing. It's like enough already with these Disney Plus shows. Give me some movies. You know? Jeez, I'm kidding. I like it all. Don't come at me with your pitchforks. I'm kidding. I'm allowed to do that. Nuance is a good thing. So what's going on, guys? James, you got a freshie. I see it. You got a freshie on.
It has that smell that it's like almost skunky, where you're like, it's like fresh ink smell.
Did you not wash it?
No.
It's like a vinegar smell, right?
Yeah, it's like a vinegary kind of thing. Yeah,
forget
absolutely.
Chemicals. Let them soak in.
Yeah, I don't care about that. No,
Mine still smells like hope.
Yeah, this is actually my first Make Solo 2 Happen shirt, as I normally... well, actually, I bought the red one, but I've never had
I'm wearing
the
right
black
now?
standard yellow. Yeah, that one, but I had it in a hoodie. But so that was technically my first purchased one, but this one is the original yellow, so it's kind of cool. So I'm excited about that. But I was also going to mention too, I thought this was kind of fun and interesting, that we're going to Anaheim at the Anaheim Convention Center, and my job will be there 1 week later. Like a bunch of people, they're all going to be there 1 week later for NAMM. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. They're asking me to set up the booth for them ahead of time.
That's crazy.
And I said no.
So Lacey was wearing a TRB shirt. Very good.
A freshie.
Oh, that is a freshie too? See, you know what I did? For all my freshies, I have 3 freshies. I have a third freshie that I can't even talk about.
Slant is what I call it.
Slight too many times you've said that word.
Me?
No, John.
Oh.
The word freshie?
Yeah, one more time, please.
Yeah! Freshie. So I got I got a brand new Make Solo 2 Happen shirt. Because mine have been through battle. And then
I'm wearing my oldie for that.
Yeah, I have a new
many
TRB
a trending day.
I have a TRB slant shirt coming like you have, the new logo. Well, you know, our latest version of it. But I don't want to wear them until I get there, because for some reason, the first time I wear a t-shirt is the perfect fit for me. So I don't know why that is, but it's always the case.
It is fitting pretty well. I'm kind of regretting putting it on. Yeah,
see? So I have a third freshie coming, but I can't say what it is yet because it's a shirt no one has seen yet.
Oh, that's right.
Is this the new thing? We're going to build up to this shirt now?
I'm so excited.
What is the shirt countdown?
Oh my God. I'm going to look so good in that shirt. Oh my God.
He's going to start tweeting like 10 days till you get to see my shirt.
Oh my God. I may open up, you know, if Hayden's not going to do it, I'm going to open up photo opportunities where people can take a photo with me with my shirt. It's going to be so good. It's going to be $1.05. $1.05. Take a photo.
True fitting.
Well, all the dollar stores now are $1.25, so maybe you should do a $1.25.
Freedom
Inflation
costs
is real.
$1.05. So there you go. All right. So before we get into anything, another reminder out there. First of all, thank you to everybody who's been RSVPing to our event. We now are going to be using the largest space possible at Radiant Beer Co. because of how many people have said, I'm going to come party with TRB. I'm going to come to their podcast. I'm going to come hang out.
You've surprised us and Radiant Beer Co. who are like, we've never hosted this many people before. And we've said, hooray! Yeah. You're welcome.
We even splurged for fireworks.
No, we didn't. But we did get a photo op.
No, Disney's doing the fireworks. But it'll be visible. But yeah, we're doing a lot of cool stuff, photo stuff. We're gonna have amazing giveaways, surprises. more details as we approach it. But if you haven't yet, you could find the link, or if you need it, just let us know. But RSVP to that event, again, 5:30 on Saturday, May 28th at Radiant Beer Co., which is just like 2 miles from the Anaheim Convention Center. It's a free event, all ages. We're doing our podcast live, no restrictions on time. They're going to have amazing drinks. We're going to have an amazing setup. Very excited. It's happening and it's coming close. It's very soon. We're less than 2 weeks away from this event, and our podcast will start at 6:30 after an hour happy hour, and we'll probably go over an hour with the podcast, and we'll have time to meet, hang out, and all that stuff. So if you are down, make us a part of your Saturday at Star Wars Celebration if you're going to Anaheim, and if you are a patron of TRB, good news, you're going to be able to watch it live on Patreon. So we're going to be streaming the podcast, internet willing, to our Patreon page. So you're going to get like pretty much the raw live event. And then, after, once James has the opportunity to do so, we'll get like a produced version of it for the public. But if you're a patron, that's a great time. Another reason to join our Patreon, which is already really awesome. So patreon.com/resistance broadcast, tier start at $2 a month. And you'll be able to watch if you can't go to Celebration. And a lot of people are sad they can't go, and everyone's talking about Celebration. It probably stinks, and we get that. So we wanted to make it an opportunity for our patrons who can't go, at least, to watch it initially live, and then we'll make it so that everybody can watch it at some point. But if you are going, get there, because it's going to be a great time. And then I have one other thing I guess we can tell everybody. Speaking of our shirts that James and I are wearing right now, on Friday at 3 o'clock. We don't know what time are we doing it? 3:30. Friday at 3:30 at Celebration, May 27th.
We just decided this.
So that was like,
I thought it was 3.
That was like Mean Girls. Like, you will stay here all night. You can't hold them past 3. You will stay here till 3.
Till 4.
Or 4, yeah.
So 3:30, if you're going to Celebration at the convention, 3:30, we're going to pick once we get to scout it out, we're going to pick a spot at the convention to do a Make Solo 2 Happen meetup. So if you're going to Celebration and you're going to be there Friday, either wear some gear, whether it's a Make Solo 2 Happen shirt or any solo related gear, or if you just want to bring your Make Solo 2 Happen shirt and roll it up and put it in your bag for the meetup, whatever you want to do, 3:30, we're going to do a meetup. And if you go to that and be one of the first ones there, just to make sure, you're going to get one of these for free. A Make Solo 2 Happen enamel pin. So let's celebrate our love for Solo. Let's take a picture. Let's hang out, talk about how amazing that movie is, and hopefully make some more noise, because it took them 7 or 8 years to make the Clone Wars come back. We still have an opportunity. Never tell us the odds. So,
and Ron Howard and Lawrence Kasdan are there that day, so let's put that out in the universe.
Yeah, tell them. Tell Ron Howard. Ron Howard follows that Make Solo 2 Happen Twitter account. Maybe he'll hear about it.
He will know. He might not say anything, but he'll know.
He'll hear about it, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so 3:30 for that. So obviously we have a lot going on, and keep it here with us for more updates on our plans for Star Wars Celebration. But there's 2 big ones out of the way, and we also have some merch to reveal, a lot of stuff. So we're very excited. And,
I have so much stuff, I'm going to have to check maybe 2 bags to bring it.
It's wild stuff.
We went a little crazy for the past 3 years. We were like, let's make more stickers.
That's true. All right, now let's get into giving our takes on some news. So James, what's happening?
It's the Resistance.
Well, John, Kenobi is happening, and if you don't know that by now, not you, but like you, the understood you, listener, you, if you don't know that, just look literally anywhere, like open web on your phone, and you will see that Ewan McGregor is doing interviews, and he's being asked one of 3 questions. And also Hayden Christensen being asked one of 2 questions, which we'll get into. It has to do about the suit, always about the suit. How do you feel about the suit? How much did it weigh? Did you feel like you looked good in black? Just always the same questions, but we're here to talk a little bit about, I guess, specifically the Empire article, but we're kind of going to open it up a little bit to a lot of the things that have been coming down, because the press, I don't want to say junket, like, but it was kind of like a press event, and the floodgates have opened for Kenobi press now. So we are in the thick of it. I'm just going to start with you on this one, John. Like, what has stuck out? What's the big thing coming from you from all of the news and little tidbits we're getting? We used to tease that, you know, Hollywood Reporter had 5 stories or whatever made out of just a few little bits of information, but now everybody's doing that. What are your takeaways?
I'm like kind of, it's weird to say, I'm tired of it. Because, and it's weird because you got to like compartmentalize this thing, because here you have these, you know, for the most part, these printed interviews with a lot of these like very stock questions, not a lot of questions where we're gathering anything like, wow, that is some insight that I did not know. A lot of them's like, yep, right, figured that, knew that. Like diehard fans are seeing this stuff like, you already knew that 10 years ago, already knew that. The one thing I did like was the image that came out with Empire showing him holding the lightsaber. That was pretty cool. So it's him like now holding a lightsaber, which is very interesting, wearing like his sort of like Tatooine sleep attire or whatever, his like little cave outfit or whatever. But in terms of like these, you know, I really wish for Star Wars, especially something like this, they got people who know Star Wars to ask questions, because man, you get Hayden Christensen finally back after 17 years and you're saying, was the suit heavy? That's what you're asking this guy? Are you kidding me right now? You can ask this guy so many questions. Did you channel, you know, Anakin's feelings towards Padme as you were Darth Vader? You know, how did you toe the line between leaving Anakin and becoming Darth Vader? Which, you know, did you look into David Prowse's version and say, maybe I want to do a slightly younger version of that? Like, there's so many questions you can ask him to, like, get real, tangible, valuable information. These people are like, so that black suit, pretty hot, huh? Darth Vader? Is it Dark Vader or is it Darth Vader? I'm not sure. So it's just like frustrating seeing these reporters who clearly probably have never seen Star Wars getting to ask these actors these questions. I wish Star Wars fans, or at least people who have big outlets, get the Star Wars person in your room. I don't care if they're your main person. Get them in there to ask the questions. I mean, it's like, and they're all the same interview over and over.
Ash always asks good questions. She doesn't do the
softball-y
exactly. questions.
More of that, right? So, you know, and you know, there's a lot of podcasts that would probably ask really good questions. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm done with these slow leak, like one quote today, one quote tomorrow, all from the same interview that probably happened 8 months ago.
We see what you're doing, by the way. We know you're doing it for clicks and ads. We know.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. But like, they haven't put out toys. There's no, like, you know, fast food campaign tie-in. Like, they could have done so many things that were like almost like a tribute to what they did with the Phantom Menace or others, or, you know, other things like that. There's none of that. All it is are these like these magazines or whatever you want to call them now. They're just online, most of them. Just like taking these interviews, cutting them up, and they were probably done last October, and putting these snippets out, and they're all the same answer. They're stock answers. There's really not a lot to them, in my opinion, anyway. And it's, I don't know what casual fans are reading these, so then you just have the diehard fans reading them like, yeah, I'm really not gathering too much from this. Like, how'd it feel to come back after 20 years?
Yeah.
Like, Ewan McGregor's like, man.
That's James' favorite question.
Yeah.
How does it feel, James, to see them asking, how does it feel all the time?
I think it's funny, and like, it's one of those things too. It's such an easy question because, like when I did the band thing, I noticed when fans didn't have anything to say. And so they were like scrambling for something. So the how does it feel or what was it like kind of questions, they're kind of non-questions that don't really require a tangible answer, because you're not actually asking them anything. You're just kind of like, you don't know what to say, so you're like, keeping the conversation going.
How does it feel to win the Super Bowl?
Something. Yeah,
it's
and they
terrible.
They can literally say anything they want. They could be like, and which honestly, 99 times out of 100, they're going to say it feels great. Like,
yeah.
Like, and what does even great feel, or what does great feeling feel like to you? Like, describe great is what we're even getting at there. But it's like, but people are satisfied with the answer. Like, yeah, it feels great. You know, oh, I'm really happy to do it. Like it's been wonderful, you know, kind of thing. Like these answers that don't really mean anything. But to the defense of the marketing theme, we are paying attention to every article. And I think like a lot of people are like, you know, they're not reading total film, but then they see something in Empire and they go, oh, cool, they're covering Kenobi. That's neat. And they read it for the first time and they go, oh, that's interesting information.
Sure.
You know, kind of thing.
My point is do other stuff.
Do other stuff. Because I think they know that people like us will figure it all out.
No, but put out action figures. So when the family goes to Target and they see 6 rows of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, they're like, oh my God, what is this? And that's like action figures and Star Wars go hand in hand. Like George Lucas talked about the whole licensing and merchandising aspect of it. It's almost like Star Wars invented action figures. Like I know those figures probably existed before Star Wars, but Star Wars is like the action figure movie franchise, and they're not putting anything out. I think the next one comes out like a year from now.
It's kind of interesting that they didn't announce the figure with everything else on May the 4th. They announced it at night during Jimmy Kimmel, which is interesting because I guarantee you someone was like, hey, you can show this action figure during Jimmy Kimmel. And Hasbro saw it as a great marketing opportunity, but it seems like oftentimes that's what it's coming down to is like these crazy marketing opportunities that people are like, oh, we're going to get so much press for this, not realizing the outcome of, but you're not selling any of these right now. Yeah. Like no one's going to get this thing yet. I took
that Hasbro thing as Hasbro not even having anything to do. That felt to me like Ewan was like, hey, look what I just got in the mail. It's my Kenobi figure. And somebody at Hasbro might even be like, oh, we weren't supposed to reveal that, but okay. You know, kind of thing.
It didn't have things in it. They definitely were meant to reveal it.
I know that. I'm just saying it felt to me like it wasn't a thing, like almost like they were still holding on to that information, and it took Ewan being like, just got this in the mail, and
where's the cereal?
Like, there you go.
Where's the Happy Meal? Where's the McDonald's cups?
Where's the Grogu cereal?
But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that I like when I think about the prequels, and that's what they're trying to tap into the nostalgia of the prequels with the series, because all they keep talking about is the prequels and like how they've come around and now it's the kids then, or now the ones who have the voices now and stuff. Market it like you marketed the prequels. Get the action figures out there. Get the tie-ins with the food places, the soda companies, the Doritos, the chips, and do all that stuff. That's how you get the nostalgia and the vibe and the good feelings. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to, though I would say general audiences probably see that stuff more than a magazine that's now probably exclusively online. I don't even know if people are buying physical magazines anymore. And it's the same stuff. You could show me a quote from one of these interviews and be like, was it Entertainment Weekly, Total Film, Empire, Joe's Magazine? I'd be like, I have no idea. No clue. And it's just like, so excited to be back. I can't believe I'm back. It's been 17 years. I love Hayden. The suit's heavy. I forgot how to talk like Alec Guinness. Deborah Chow's great. Can't wait.
You know what? You know what they do?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Burger King, if you're listening to this, you take the Whopper, you get rid of the bottom bun, you put another top bun on the bottom, you sell it as the Twin Buns Burger, and there you go.
Twin Buns.
Yeah, Twin Buns. Gotcha. And it's a Kenobi tie-in.
James, you've missed your calling working for fast food.
Yeah.
He has a very strong passion.
I will say, I don't want to say get ready because I don't know if Disney Plus is quite there like the movies normally are. But usually when we get real close to a release, they say you start seeing the other tie-in commercials that are like a car driving. Yeah. You know, and then like something Star Warsy happens, or
and then it says
whatever.
Kenobi now on Disney Plus.
In theaters on Disney, only streaming on Disney Plus. Kind of thing, like. Speaking of Disney, this totally off topic. Do you guys get commercials for Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Like,
no,
all the time.
No.
I don't see commercials for WandaVision, for Loki, for Moon Knight, nothing. I barely see commercials for anything other than on Disney Plus. But Falcon and Winter Soldier, all the time. It's all my YouTube ads are. It's like, feels weird picking it up, kind of thing. And I'm like already skipping ad by this point. But it's the only commercial they run.
Can you imagine
Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Like, this is the biggest.
Feels weird picking it up.
It's how it starts. I know it like you know that solo like.
Yeah.
Doesn't it like for the argument can be made that this is the most hyped thing from Star Wars since The Force Awakens.
I'd agree.
I think universally fans seem to all be pulling the same direction. There's no divisiveness heading into this.
Everybody's
it feels
hyped
very
for this show.
Force Awakens-y.
Mandalorian season 2?
Imagine when Force Awakens came out, they put out all the figures. We've talked about this recently. When Phantom Menace came out, Star Wars is back. Here's our brand new movie. You're gonna find out how Anakin became Darth Vader. Shelves of action figures. All right, are retail stores not what they were then? Sure. Get them online.
I also think
nothing.
Force Awakens kind of get burned by that too.
They did get burned by that.
They put all those toys out and then they couldn't sell them, and I think they like kind of burned.
It was more Last Jedi than Force Awakens.
I think even Force Awakens, because like I mean they had the one toy that wasn't even in the movie, but
Constable Zuvio.
Yeah, but
that was the first toy they put out too. They were like, here's this guy.
Hammerhead. Like, who's the guy?
I remember people thought he was going to be like this big villain or something. He was just like nothing.
That
he was a creature
Stormtroopers were like the first things, because I found a Stormtrooper, I remember, a week prior.
But you get what I'm saying. Like Star Wars and merch, like marketing, like people like, you don't need that to market the thing, but it's all part of the experience of Star Wars. Like action figures are a big part of the fabric of being a Star Wars fan. And sell the posters. Why aren't they selling the posters?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm like, I feel like, remember in 40-Year-Old Virgin, I think I said this on one of our calls, when Jonah Hill's like, he goes to we sell it on eBay store, and he takes the item and he's like, I have money, I want to give this to you. I'm going to give you money for these boots. She's like, you can't buy that. That's how I feel about this stuff. I'm like, I have money.
These shoes,
I want to buy that poster and put it up on the freaking wall up here, and I can't find it anywhere. I'm going to have to get it like bootleg out of Thailand or something. I have no idea. It's wild that they're like, check out this amazing poster designed by, and they have the Twitter handle of the designer. They're all like, I'm so excited I got to do this. I'm like, where can I buy it? Oh, you can't buy it. Okay, that's cool. So what is it now? An NFT? Now I have to buy like a non-friggable token or something, whatever these things are. I mean, come on.
Speaking of
posters,
a poster
on my wall.
Fungible.
This past week, I was laughing so hard. There's this account that redrew the poster. It's the poster with Kenobi with like the little tiny Vader on the hill. Honestly, it looks like the Hunger Games poster with Katniss, where she's up on the stone and she's looking up, kind of like the Thor one. It's like
the one
generic...
where Vader's doing everything he can to get the high ground now.
Yeah, basically. But it's got this big Kenobi in it, right? Yeah. Well, the person drew it where it's like a cliff and Vader's on it, like, oh my gosh, and Kenobi's like looking at little Vader. Oh, it made me laugh so hard because it's like literally like a translation into actual physical terms of what the poster is.
Oh man,
I need to give them a shout out. I forget who it is. Carelipicare is their account. I'm sorry if I slaughtered that. It's over on my Twitter account if you want to see it.
Good job, Carelipicare.
Sorry, that's not.
Also, when it comes to this too, like I don't want to be misunderstood, like being angry about this because
lip care. That's what it is. C-A-R-E, lip, C-A-R-E.
Okay. I want to see
it's
it.
Funny. Okay, I'm going to share it with you.
The one thing, though...
My favorite flower is a tulip.
That bothers me sometimes is when, like, so, you know, Spider-Man 3's coming out, right? And then we get, like, one trailer and everybody's, like, losing their mind. And then we're going to get a second trailer and everybody's losing their mind when that second trailer comes out. And then everybody's like, now stop. They just need to stop. I'm sick of it. I'm done. Stop showing me stuff. I know. This is what I'm saying. And I'm always like,
what?
There's always this thing that says, I don't even know why they're marketing it because it's not like they're not going to make, like, X amount of dollars. You know, like everybody's going to go see that movie. And I'm like,
oh, that's so stupid.
You have to market stuff, man. The more that it's everywhere, the more money you're going to make. So it's like, it's crazy to me that people think that they should stop marketing Kenobi, you know, and I know you're saying do different stuff, John. That's not your point here, but we are ragging on the fact that it's the same stuff over and over. But it's like, I think they have a plan and they're just trying to take that little bit of information and put that everywhere, you know, kind of thing. And we're tired of seeing it, but I do understand what they're doing. I do think
I actually have something to say about these articles.
Yeah. I mean, what?
We've been going back and forth about marketing stuff, but with the total film stuff, we haven't really discussed, the Empire stuff, is the photos they released. So yeah, the interviews haven't been great, but I think the photos for me were super interesting, from Obi-Wan Kenobi walking through the market, which is really cool. But even more interesting to me was the Reva picture, because it seems like to me, James, what you said last episode tends to be true, which is she seems to be on the fence of hunting him down or doing the right thing, or is she doing the right thing? Because in this image, she looks concerned. She looks like she's being yelled at.
Wasn't there a voice where we expected that it was, we
thought it was the Grand Inquisitor. It could have been him.
It could have been him talking to her like, you want to find him. He's gone. Let it go. Kind of thing. Yeah,
totally. I think there's something here where she has this inner turmoil thing. And obviously, as we've seen recently with all the press tours in Europe and Germany, Berlin and London, she's with them. Like, they're pushing her hard on this press tour. So it's interesting to see that she's going to have definitely a bigger part in this show than I even initially thought. I thought she was going to have a great part, but like, it seems like it's a very important role.
Yeah.
My speculation on it is that she is sort of on the side getting direct orders from Vader to do his bidding. And he's saying, I want Kenobi. I don't care about the other Jedi. Get him, kill him, or bring him to me. Where the other ones are like, we got to find all the Jedi. The Emperor's saying we have to go get all the Jedi. Yeah. And Vader's like, you are my... And that's why she's like the one they're all showcasing. And I'm pretty sure...
Yeah, she's probably working secretly too. So like, he's like, don't let them know that you're doing this type thing.
And that's why she's saying, you can't get... Like in the trailer, she's like, you can't escape him. She's talking about Vader.
What if she's talking about the Inquisitor and we're all like, oh, that's a letdown. Well, like they try to make the Grand Inquisitor like the guy for this. And we're like, Vader should be the guy. But
no,
as far as I understand it,
I think I agree.
She was created for this series. There's no precedent with the third sister, Reva or Reva.
She looks so awesome, though. I think I'm most hyped for her character just to see what she does.
I think what sold me on her was her screaming in that trailer.
Yes.
That, I was like, that's some legit stuff right there.
She sold me from the moment she, like, on Instagram showed her lightsaber skills, which, by the way, I don't know if you remember, it was a blue lightsaber.
Yeah. So I think that's what we got going on here, because she's created for this show, so they don't have to worry about implications of, well, but in this comic she didn't know Vader.
She's Rey's mom, right?
She's Rey's mom, right? She's Kenobi's daughter, like the whole thing. Yeah. But they don't have to have any limitations with this character, so they can do whatever they want with her and be like, have her work for Vader. Then you can also, that's also like planting the seed of the rift between Palpatine and Vader a little bit, jockeying for power. Like Vader already probably thinking like, I can overthrow the Emperor stuff. This is before he even knows he has a son that's still alive, you know? And then use her, and that adds, more conflict on the dark side element of things. And for a show that we know where most of these characters end up, it adds this, what is this? What's going to happen with this freshness to it? Which is, I think, necessary in a prequel type of show like this, where we know how Obi-Wan's story goes, Owen, Beru, Anakin, Vader, all of them. So having her, and the Grand Inquisitor, we know how he dies. So it's just like, with her, it's like, let's see what she's all about. So I don't think it's going to be one of those, she's a mole where she winds up being a good guy.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but
Vader's,
there is some type of conflict in this image, and that's what caught my eyes. I was like, oh, she's being yelled at here.
So they may be like, you need to, the Emperor said we have to find all the Jedi, not just this one you're obsessed with, or the one Darth Vader's obsessed with. She's going to be like, no, bro, I got to find...
I like that theory, and I think it makes more sense than the one that I was thinking, but I'll throw it out there just because I was maybe thinking that she potentially had beef against Kenobi personally and I'm pulling that story from the Grand Inquisitor having beef with Jocasta Nu. Like, he hated her, and as soon as he became an Inquisitor, he went after her. He's like, I'm going to kill her because I very much dislike how she treated me. So there was like a personal beef with that particular person, and so that maybe why she could be seeking after him. But I do like this idea that she's like being called on by Vader, like specifically kind of noted as someone that maybe he would, like, maybe this is in a weird way kind of like a replacement for Starkiller kind of thing. Like, like he's not really pulling her out of the Inquisitorious program because Palpatine would know, but maybe he is having these conversations with her privately.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I mean, I still think there's room for like Starkiller, that kind of like story of him having this secret apprentice. I don't know when they would ever do that, but you know, it's a good story, and I think fans drew to it. But interestingly, I found out that did you know that Starkiller and Ahsoka were revealed the same month?
What do you mean?
The Clone Wars movie came out the same month that The Force Unleashed came out.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Both apprentices of Anakin Skywalker, Light and Dark, were revealed the same month.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, fall of 2008.
Yeah,
interesting.
Just kind of a fun fact. I was like, that's wild, man. When I think about those two as like who they are and what they stand for and how they kind of like legends, canon sort of shadow each other. It's like interesting. Like, I can't believe that fell in like that. But yeah, Kenobi's coming up. It is getting closer and closer. Keep your eyes out on literally anywhere, your internet browser, and you'll be seeing new news about it most likely. But you know where to go to get all of the news aggregated for you. That's StarWarsNewsNet.com.
And we have some scoops too, and a lot of reviews and a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, we got some other stories here though, and this is what John was alluding to at the top, that we're going to talk a little bit about the movies. Bryce Dallas Howard was kind of asked recently about, you know, her involvement in the shows and Ahsoka and other things. Like, she's been working on this, and then she was involved like with her father who did Solo and all this. And the question came up, hey, you know, what character or storyline would it take for you to accept a Star Wars thing? And her response is, and I'm quoting, "Oh my goodness, I think it would just take someone asking me." So she, in that way, is saying, it doesn't matter. Like, Star Wars, anything. If they ask me to do a movie, I don't care if they're handing me this anything, I would do it. So this is, I think, kind of that first step in her being like, I'm available.
Or she already is in the works of doing something.
Yes, that too. I was going to say it is. I was going to let us kind of speculate on that possibility, but you're exactly right. This could be the question where she is already now starting to acknowledge, like Ewan has been saying, like, I've known for a long time I was doing Kenobi, and I had to say, well, if they wanted to ask me, I'd be glad to do it, you know, kind of thing. And he just kind of had to put the face on for a while and lie. This could be like what we're looking back at years from now and being like, oh, she knew at this point. They already gave her Rogue Squadron or whatever.
right.
Yeah. John, did you have a thought on Bryce Dallas Howard, her openness to doing the films?
Yeah, I mean, it, you know, runs in the family. I think she feels in honor of carrying on the legacy set forth by her father, who also started as an actor. And, you know, he has very close ties to George Lucas, as we've talked about many times, dating back to American Graffiti, 1973. So here we are 50 years later, and you have Bryce Dallas Howard about to direct her first feature film. She's doing the remake of Flight of the Navigator for Disney. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Maybe there's already buzz. It's in pre-production, so maybe there's already buzz about how she's operating in that realm.
There's no way she's not using the volume.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're using. Yeah, I'm sure they're using all sorts of things. I mean, I don't know if it's been revealed where that movie's being filmed, but I mean, it's certainly a possibility. But the point being, like, that is one of those things where she's already under the family umbrella. She's already directed Star Wars. People have been pleasantly surprised by what she did with her stuff in Mandalorian. And then Book of Boba Fett, a lot of people were saying that was probably the best episode of that series. She even joked about how she loved the fact that, Boba Fett wasn't in that, but John and Dave like to do a lot of wild things. And she's very good. She's very like her father in tackling questions that could put her in a situation to say something derisive or controversial and putting just this nice spin on it. She's very good at doing that. And Ron Howard's like the master of doing it.
It looked like she had more to say too when asked about that Mandalorian thing, because her quote at the end there is, it was great. Like, there's like, she wants to say more about it, but she thought I love Mando. That's what she said.
I'll just say this. Her talents are proven. She now has a track record. She knows how to direct Star Wars. I liked all the Star Wars stuff she's done already. I feel like she even took a big step forward with her Book of Boba Fett episode. That felt cinematic to me. That felt big. That whole ring location where he met the armorer and stuff, that felt like big time Star Wars stuff.
The long take from the elevator around the table and then back to the elevator was perfection.
Yeah. I mean, the whole element of it felt like a climactic type of setting for a Star Wars film alone. And she's clearly on board with it. They trust her to be doing these big things, because that was a very big episode for the Book of Boba Fett, no question. And now she's taking the next step. They're giving her a feature film, a remake of a movie that came out in the 80s. I'm sure it'll be successful. I'm sure she'll do a great job. And that could, springboard her into maybe an upcoming Star Wars project. So I'm all for it. I like that she's all for it. If it's a solo thing, cool. If not, it doesn't matter. I think she's very talented. So I like hearing that. I like hearing people, even if it's someone who's that doesn't have the longest, most extensive resume, wanting to direct the Star Wars movie. She's not afraid of it, whereas some people seem to be shying away from them because, it's been well documented the production troubles they're having with some of these movies. Rogue Squadron right now, there's a lot of buzz from really big people on the inside of the media spectrum of covering these movies and stuff like that, saying like Rogue Squadron's in big trouble. So Star Wars has been struggling to anything that JJ and Rian Johnson aren't doing. They've been struggling getting that stuff off the ground. Rogue One had its problems. Solo had its problems. And she's like, give it to me. I want to do it. I love that confidence. So I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Lacey BDH.
BDH. What?
Bryce Dallas Howard? Question mark?
For a second, I was like, is that some hip term I'm unaware of? I'm not hip anymore.
Apparently, yes.
I would love for her to do a Star Wars movie. I think I'm with every single other Star Wars fan. I think we're all collectively screaming this into the void. I think that's why it was brought up in this interview to begin with, is because everybody is in their, sister, brother, mother, cousin, whatever, has been saying that they want Bryce Dallas Howard to do a Star Wars movie. I think she would be perfect for it. I think she has the passion for it. And like I said before, when John was bringing up her episode for the Book of Boba Fett, I wasn't the biggest fan of the episode Sanctuary, and it's not due to her filmmaking. I just wasn't a big fan of that storyline in that episode. It wasn't my favorite. But her episode was my favorite episode in Book of Boba Fett, which is funny because in the article she talks about how it's, he's not in it really. I just thought she was so great, and like John said, every time you hear her speak about things, she's just so happy to be there. And for me, that just goes so much farther with the care that goes into these projects. I don't think anybody that's involved in Star Wars doesn't care. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that with anything that you care about so much like we do, to see it then reciprocated from the other side of the screen is just such a lovely feeling. And I feel that Bryce is going to bring that to whatever she works on with Star Wars. And she has talked about how her life has kind of revolved around it with George Lucas and visiting Phantom Menace set and, you know, being friends with Natalie Portman and all this stuff. Like, I feel like she's come full circle from being, you know, the kid that was experiencing it and getting toys for Christmas from George, to being on sets, to doing a couple episodes, to now she's doing even more stuff and she's doing documentaries and, you know, just coming full circle to, hey, I want to do this movie. Just ask me. To me, it kind of felt like a wink. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, someone just has to ask me. Like, that someone,
Right.
There's no way that it hasn't come up at some point of, hey, would you be interested in doing more? The question is, will we see this be announced at Celebration that she's doing something? Will we get more input into what her future is in A Galaxy Far, Far Away at Celebration? Because I could see that happening. I could see them totally be playing this up. I could see that even being, maybe that was the pitch for this article, so to speak, in the sense that, hey, yes, she was being interviewed about Jurassic World, but maybe rumblings are already happening that we don't know about of, hey, she is involved in something. And I would love for it to happen.
Yeah, I don't know that I can add too much that you guys have already, and there's tons of news, so I just want to move on pretty quickly.
Sure.
But I do think that Bryce Dallas Howard would be a fine pick. I think, like, I'm not really sure how it lines up with the way that they have been picking their movie directors,
Right.
which is like, to me, it was like, oh, we see what Marvel's doing over there, but Force Awakens is big. It's going to be big. So we're going to get a big director for that. But after that, we're going to do the Marvel thing. We're going to go for like who we think would be really good. And we're going to have these indie directors and stuff. And then like Last Jedi came out and it was like, whoa, like weird, like kind of miss thing. And then they immediately after that, they were like, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. And it was like all big people from that point on. JJ back, and Benioff and Wise to handle like that property, and like Kevin Feige and like Taika Waititi and Patty Jenkins. Like everybody from that point on has been like the best pick, the hottest, biggest director possible. So unless they give us one of these weird official announcements, I think that smaller, trusted, knows how to do this thing because here's some evidence, some smaller evidence over here, that's kind of off the table. But I mean, I'm for it. I think
I see what you're saying. The pattern doesn't match what we're wanting.
It seems like right now when they think movie, they think it has to be a Zack Snyder type. It has to be like an A-list, 100%. They're going to nail this, slam it out of the park, no questions asked. We're not taking risks.
Can I actually introduce the next story? Because I have a question for you, James.
Oh, let's go for it.
So the next story is Michael Waldron talking about working on his Kevin Feige produced Star Wars film. Now, he did Loki, which we all know, and he also wrote Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, James has often talked about on the show about how these certain people have been involved in one project, which is critically acclaimed, everyone loves. Then they do a second project, which people aren't really big fans of, and then they end up doing a Star Wars. And so here's another one that falls into that trap, James. So I wanted to start with you with how are you feeling that he did Loki, which everyone loved. Now everyone is not loving Doctor Strange. People have very big thoughts about it, from the violence to the choices that were made with the characters to all this other stuff. It's been very interesting to watch online. Now, I'm going to admit I haven't seen it yet. I haven't been. I think the first time I'm going back to a movie theater, honestly, guys, is with John and James in California. Nice. I'm seeing Top Gun. It's the first time I've been to a movie in 3 years. So might as well make it the best one.
Everybody's saying Top Gun is like
everyone loves it. People are like crying and stuff in that movie. But with Multiverse, it's been a
Tron
very
Legacy director. Boom.
Very strong reaction. Some positive, but mostly negative from what I've seen. So I wanted to know what you thought.
Really?
Like, is he falling? Yeah. Is he falling into that?
I've gotten the vibe too. I haven't been paying too close to attention to it, but it does seem to me like I was seeing people that saying not MCU's greatest by any means.
It was messy is what people said. Like, it was just messy.
Or like, like it could have been, it had potential and just didn't land. My first thought on it initially is that's a good point, but also I would think he's the writer. So at the end of the day, like, I think they could be like, oh, he wrote the first script and, you know, we had somebody else punch it up, or we had somebody like, I don't think you're going to see like a page 1 rewrite announcement or anything like that. Because I don't think they need to make it public that guy that wrote Doctor Strange, not involved at all. You know, I don't think like they would for, some of these other ones, like for instance, and
I just feel like it's been directors a lot that have had that issue, right? Like Patty and Colin Trevorrow have had that issue.
But
where
I
they
think
do
that's
one
because they're the directors. So I think with Michael Waldron being the writer from the people who brought you or written by or something like that, they're all they're gonna say is like, they're gonna say from the people that wrote Loki or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
and
Sam
they don't
Raimi
have
is
to
the
put
one
the
that's
bad ones in.
Right, Sam Raimi is the one that's getting most of the flack for.
If Sam Raimi was doing a Star Wars film, then we have a discussion right now. That's I think the difference is between Michael Waldron writing and handing that off and let somebody else direct what was written on the page. Like, I think Michael Waldron could be like, theoretically, he could be like, it wasn't me.
Yeah, creative choices were made on my script. Yeah.
So
he brings that up too, which is important, you know.
Okay, great. Go ahead, John.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, like, I'm not the biggest Rotten Tomatoes guy. Audience score for Doctor Strange and the Thing of Things is 87% it's a long title. It's 87% for audience, 75% critic. You know, whatever. I did hear a lot of stuff thrown about Sam Raimi, and that it's very Sam Raimi-ish when he's known for doing some, you know, horror stuff back in the day. That was sort of where he came from, his roots with Evil Dead and that sort of stuff.
I think people were expecting Spider-Man and they didn't get Spider-Man.
Possibly, yeah. But in terms of Michael Waldron, like, he doesn't, again, we got another person here that doesn't really have a long resume. You know, Rick and Morty, Loki, he did a short, then he wrote a couple episodes for another TV series, then it's Doctor Strange and this Kevin Feige Star Wars. That's it. And so his first feature film that he wrote is Doctor Strange. And in his interview, he was saying, like, he opened up a little bit about the Star Wars thing, and I think it's almost kind of like his way of protecting the product that's currently out trying to make money, while also saying, wink, wink, I had some restrictions as I was writing that movie because it's in the Marvel space and it has to fit the story they're connecting. So he said, you know, I'm finally into writing this Star Wars movie in earnest. I'm writing away. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying having the freedom on that to do something that's not necessarily a sequel or anything. It may have a little bit less of a, well, it just doesn't have a bunch of TV shows and movies that you're servicing on top of it the way I did with Doctor Strange. That's what he said.
Well, Doctor Strange, it was Spider-Man played into that, WandaVision played, like all these things kind of stuck into it. Yeah, it
has to be tough to be a writer and be like, man, I want to take this character here, and they're like, you can't, because he's already going to be in this movie.
They walked in with those textbooks, slammed it on the desk, and was like, okay, you have to include all of this into your script.
Yeah, it's like when if you take a kid and you're like, we're going to put this jigsaw puzzle together. We completed the whole outside. You can put those 3 pieces right there in the middle. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to do the whole puzzle. No, you can't. That's already done. But what you know, in his quote, which maybe he didn't realize he wasn't supposed to reveal, because you know how Star Wars is, oh, shut your mouth or you're fired, is maybe not. But he's kind of saying that this is not a sequel, so this isn't something that's going to happen after episode 9. We can cross that off. So Feige's not doing that.
Which is exciting. We've been waiting for new. That's cool.
He's not kickstarting the new thing. He's nothing tied to Mando or any of the existing shows, because he said it's not beholden to anything that exists on TV or other movies. So this is something that is standing on its own. Now, whether that means it takes place around those eras or not, or they're finally doing maybe Old Republic stuff, who knows? But he let it slip that this is nothing tied to anything that's currently happening with Star Wars. So that makes me think like Acolyte, but even more so, because Acolyte is still has to match up to the end of the High Republic. it seems like he's pretty free in what he could do here. And what makes me confident, as always, is because obviously you have Kevin Feige involved producing this thing. So this movie is going to happen, and it's probably not going to have, knock on wood, trouble. So I'm excited to see what he does. He deserves the opportunity to show us what he can do with a feature film, not trapped in the Marvel model or the continuity. And let's see what he can do.
Yep.
Because Loki was good though. I'll say, I really enjoyed Loki.
I loved Loki.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna go rewatch it.
I mean, I get being handcuffed. Absolutely. I think the weird thing, like sometimes I go to the defense of like, well, I think that canon should be canon though, like I want them to write a story that works. So
I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying he's restricted on what he's allowed to do from a writing standpoint.
But then in that case, somebody would be like, okay, yeah, your canon is true. Like they didn't break the rules, but it doesn't work as a story. It's not good. You don't have anywhere to take this character because he's handcuffed to this story that we've already told and this other one that's coming up. So, kind of one of those things. It's probably
similar to what like Joby Harold had to do with Kenobi. It's like, can I have him do this? And story group's like, nah, man, because blank here and blank there.
Yeah.
No. Can Vader do this in this series? Nope, because of that. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing is like I feel like I'm okay with that when it comes to Star Wars specifically. Is I'm okay when because I would rather like all Star Wars stories, so they're gonna. I don't feel like they're really gonna like handcuff me.
No, I agree, and in this instance, he's saying that's not even going to be a factor. So
yeah. Yeah, we got another story here about this, and it's kind of loose, but we kind of wanted to touch on it very specifically. It kind of wraps in with what we were talking about with the Obi-Wan Kenobi coverage. The Hayden Christensen kind of saying that the duels are going to be in line with the fighting style of the prequels. Like, I feel like I can zip through this really quickly. That to me is a no-brainer, like no duh. Because I think like movies and what people want to see on screen changes just over time. So because the prequels were action oriented because they could shoot it. They had the budget to shoot it. They had the ability to tell that story. So they told that story. And the same applies nowadays. Like it wouldn't make any sense to shoot the sequel trilogy and have Kylo and Rey, be like testing each other the whole time. It's like, that's not what audiences want to see when they go to see the movies. So when I saw the question and I saw him answer, it's like, well, they're going to be more in line. I was like, by like stretch of imagination, you could say, well, they could have Darth Vader be like really slow and boom, just like really powerful and stuff. And that would be kind of original trilogy-esque. But I was like, but I never in my wildest mind did they think they weren't going to do that, They were going to have him be in the suit, but still fighting like kind of like Anakin.
A heavy suit, mind you.
A heavy suit, mind you. Yeah, did you guys have any thoughts on this, John, Lacey?
No, but I do want to note that I'm enjoying so far in the press tours that Obi-Wan, aka Ewan, is wearing blue, and they have Hayden wearing black everything. Yeah.
But also Moses is wearing like hot pink and greens.
I love it.
I mean, it's cool, but I'm like, what does that mean?
I think she's just wearing fashionable stuff, whereas I think the
be.
stylists for Ewan and Hayden were very much like, okay, we're going to dress him in black because he's Vader, and we're going to dress Ewan in kind of blues because he's seen in blue at first, and like he's the good guy. Well, but I definitely think the Hayden thing is very specific. Like he is black from head to toe.
Just like the bodysuit.
Yeah. But pink is when red starts to turn into white, like when you bleed a lightsaber crystal.
Oh my god.
Hey, you were the guys the one saying she's having conflict and she could save herself.
Oh, I don't think she's going to save herself. I'm just saying
I'm just saying she could. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's pink. She's wearing pink, guys. John?
This is the only thing that makes me nervous so far about the Kenobi series, but I do, because aside from the Duel of Fate stuff, a lot of the lightsaber duels in the prequels were it was like watching
shing, 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 shing,
it was like
shing.
watching Star Wars on ice, as though like they were like, you know, doing like a dance. And
like
George
overly
Lucas
choreographed, you're saying?
Yes, yeah, like you saw, like, and they could say like, well, he predicted the move because of the Force. It's like, no, they predicted it because it was very choreographed, as all of the fights are. But there's a way to also make them look raw, like in Episode 9 when Rey's like flexing her hand because it's cramped because she's been fighting this guy for however long.
That's actually
I like
because
that rawness.
Adam actually hit her hand. So,
but in terms of, you know, George had to add dialogue in reshoots because he realized I had these guys fighting, these two brothers fighting for 30 minutes and they didn't say a word to each other. It's like I had to add dialogue. I liked I see the fighting in the prequels as like Jaeger bombs, and I see like the lightsaber duels in the original trilogy like a nice glass of bourbon or something, like the slow burn. And I think the sequels got it, like, married the two, and you had a lot of cool stuff, but also the intimacy, like the talking to each other. Like that's a good part. The part of the lightsaber duels I like are when they're speaking to each other and you're getting a character interaction as opposed to just bang, 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 bang. It's just like, come on. But I do trust Deborah Chow. I think she is a very smart director and she will know what to do with those moments to not make it so just like, let's be as physically ridiculous as possible. Like, reel it in, maybe have the healthy blend between the prequel chaos fighting and the slow, more cadenced fighting of the original trilogy, and find like a marriage there, so that when you see Episode 3, then you see Kenobi, then you see A New Hope, you're like, okay, that transitions, it makes sort of sense. But when Hayden was like, it's very much like our prequel fighting, I was like,
But don't also mistake that. I think you're totally right that like the people who are involved who are choreographing and stuff are doing it right. I think when asked this question, Hayden Christensen is like, he's thinking about like what he did, then he's thinking about in the past what he did, and then he's thinking about like the last time Vader fought Kenobi in A New Hope. He's like, it literally anything's going to be like more like the prequels. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, oh, it's going to be more like the prequels, and people are saying, oh, it's going to be like the prequels. Like, we look at that, exactly that style. I think he's just loosely saying like, no, it's more like what we did before than that. You know, I think it's as simple as that. So I don't think he's saying anything specific. But then again, hey, our YouTube speculation is wrong, according to Ewan McGregor. He went on record to say he watches the YouTube videos and they're all wrong. So I thought that was funny. We do have one other quick thing too. If you're interested in Ahsoka, you know, reportedly, they've cast Matthew Law. If you want to look into him, this particular story is sort of one of those like rumored things, kind of loose rumors that came from Daniel RPK, if you know him. I think he's kind of known for Marvel stuff, but he breaks stuff every once in a while. He's kind of a hit or miss. He put this on his Patreon for the people that follow him. Not to plug him or anything like that, but then, you know, it kind of leaked out from there that, you know, he's been hearing this. So I don't know if you're interested in Matthew Law from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is what he's known for, but he may or may not be casting Ahsoka, so check that out. If you're interested in that. And that is actually going to wrap up Resistance Report this week. We do have another segment coming up. What's that, Lacey? What are we doing?
All right, guys, it's time for the Patreon pod race. So there are lots of ways you can support us. You can like this video on YouTube, comment, subscribe, follow us on all the different audio apps from Spotify to Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review, please. It helps us rank, as well as just gives us feedback on the show. We like to hear from you. You can follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN or on Instagram at The Resistance Broadcast. But if you want more than that, you want to get involved in the community and support what we're doing here and what we love to do, which is produce Star Wars content, you can head over to patreon.com/Resistance Broadcast. Starting at just $2 a month. That's right, $2. You get to be a part of the community and support us in what we're doing. You get exclusive videos every week, you get live streams, and much more. This is part of the show where our generals and our Spice Runners get to be a part of the show. We ask them a question, they give us an answer, we talk about it. But before we get there, we're going to say thank you to those people. So thank you to our generals of the community.
I get it.
All right. CARMELO, Jeremy Myers, John RISI, JETTA Rosewater, Paul Olson, Frank Grande. Oh my gosh. Darth Hurricane, John CHORLTON, Nick KRATZ, Christian Morales. You know, it's like the Apples and Bananas song. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Darth Hurricane?
Christian Morales, Brian Smith, Matt Chitty, DANI, Mike Rumore, Matt Heath, Chris White, Brendan McLaughlin, and Val TRICHKOV. Thank you guys so much for being generals. And our spicy Spice Runners, David PROBUS, Neil SHAH, Kendall GELNER, Ryan WAARA, Dave HORNAK, Micah Harrison, Thomas HENNESSY, and Andrew STALEY. Thank you guys so much. We're so excited to see you at our Spice Runner dinner at Celebration. So this week we have one of our Spice Runners, Ryan WAARA. What up, Ryan? And we asked him, Celebration is around the corner, and the biggest panel of that week will be the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase. What is your best guess as to something we might learn about at the panel, and what is one thing you hope, all in caps, hope they reveal at the panel? Ryan, take it away.
Hey guys, Celebration is right around the corner, and I am so excited. I got my itineraries set, I got my gear, I got my checklist. Thanks for that. Episode was fantastic. Panel, huge panel on the first day. Really looking forward to learning a little bit more about Andor. Maybe we'll see some Rogue Squadron. I think we're going to learn a little bit, and I hope we learn a little bit more about Acolyte. That's coming down the pipe. It's kind of the most mysterious, I think, and I'm really excited to find out what we're going to learn from a dark side kind of perspective. Kenobi's about to drop. Everybody's jacked about that, me included. I'm really looking forward to Andor. I want to see an Andor trailer. I want to know everything there is to know about Andor. I love the rebellion. There goes the Darksaber. That's my time. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in Anaheim.
Well done, Ryan. Excellent answer. Very interesting. John, what'd you think?
First of all, I thought it was adorable that you actually set a timer for yourself. And you said, oh, that's my time. Like, it was like you're a comedian and someone gave you the flashlight. Like, that's enough, pal. Let's go.
The wrap
it
up
up.
Music.
No, but I like what you're saying. I do like your optimism about Rogue Squadron with all the buzz that's going around about its struggles. So I think that would be cool to get something about that. But hearing you talk about Andor, you know, we've said on the podcast recently, that's sort of like the project flying under the radar. And I think that might steal the show at Celebration because people aren't expecting it. So I'm with you on that. So I think that is a really good answer. And thanks for the kind words about our prep episode. I know there's been a bunch coming out since, but I'm glad that you took some cool stuff from ours. And a lot of things you were saying just get me excited with how close we are, man. You know, we are just a little over a week away. So I'm very excited to see you go to have our dinner with the Spice Runners and see you at our event and at other meetups and stuff. But it's going to be a great time. So you talking about Andor has got me even more hyped. And I know, you added a bunch of other stuff here, but I'm going to hand it off. But great job. Crystal clear picture as well. So whatever kind of ring light you got, stellar work.
James.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're dead on. Other than one thing, and maybe this is just my own thing, like the Acolyte thing, I'm starting to get scared. I think it depends on whether we're getting Celebration next year or if we're getting it like 2 years or whatever. Because if we're getting one next year, I think they're like, we're using this year to promote everything this calendar year, and we're not shooting anything because Acolyte or Ahsoka or whatever's coming out that next year, I think they could hold that thing and they know that they're doing that show or whatever. So I'm starting to get a little nervous on some of those things that are coming next year. But anything that's happening this year, I think you're dead on that. And Rogue Squadron, kind of included in that. Even though I know it is later, but I think that it's a movie, and I think movies are a little elevated. So, but yeah, that's good, and a good pod race, and thanks for being a patron. Yeah.
Ryan, thanks for being a part of the community. We really appreciate you. We loved your answer. I loved your answer. I agree with you 100%. I think we're going to get a ton of stuff at Celebration. it has been 3 years since they had Celebration. 3 years that the world's been a crazy place, that movies have been in a crazy spot. Disney Plus has taken over in a way we never could have imagined. I think Star Wars is at a very good point right now where they need to give updates on everything. Like all the stuff that's going on, including stuff that we don't know about yet. The big thing that keeps kind of staring at me is that the panel is 90 minutes. And I don't know if you guys have ever given presentations in school, but the fact that someone would be like, hey, you have to do a 5-minute presentation, you'd be like, oh my God, 5 minutes? That is so much time to fill in. So think about that. It's 90 minutes. So what are they going to do for 90 minutes?
Thumbs are going to fall off from tweeting so much.
Yeah, mine. Yeah. So I think we're going to get a lot, because if they're following the model that Disney has done for D23, which those panels have been 90 minutes, where they do the showcase panels and they talk about, you know, the different animation projects coming up. They do an animated one and then a live action one. And then they talk about all the different stuff coming up for Disney, and they show glimpses of things you've never seen before. They showed us, I think, in D23, the sketches of the princess scene from Wreck-It Ralph with all the Disney princesses together is what they showed us, like, way early on. They had the clip from The Rock announcing Jungle Cruise and all this other stuff. I think they're going to announce a lot in that panel. I don't think any of us are ready for what they're going to announce in that showcase panel. I wish. I'm just kidding. I got like 5 minutes.
Hasn't that already been announced, Mike?
I don't think so. No?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But the joke was that it's not Star Wars.
Right. That's the ultimate joke. But you know, from my own behind the scenes rumblings, the panel was initially called the Walt Disney Showcase, Studio Showcase. So they've changed it to Lucasfilm, but why would they do that if it was the Walt Disney one, which is what they call the one at D23? So that's why I'm thinking it's very similar. But yeah, good answer. Back to you, John.
All right. Well, we don't have time for anything else.
Actually, can I have 1 minute?
Yeah.
Oh.
My 1 minute is to let everybody know that's not going to Celebration, that we will be doing contests, including giving away some of our exclusive stuff that we're giving away at Celebration online. Sure. I know people have been asking, like, hey, what about the people that aren't going? Don't worry. We've said it before. We're going to say it again. We are going to do kind of like FOMO giveaways, fear of missing out giveaways during the week that we're there, including we're going to pick up some exclusives at the show that you can win online from us. We want to make sure that you feel like you're there. So we didn't mention that at the top, so I wanted to drop it in here. We'll have more details next week.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. We're thinking about everybody. That's what we do here. Everybody. All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for listening and watching and being a part of TRB. We appreciate it very much. In addition to everything we said on this episode, also just spread the word to your friends who like Star Wars. If you're at Celebration and podcasts come up or whatever, just be like, hey, check out Resistance Broadcast. They're pretty cool. Nice people. They like Star Wars. Check them out. Appreciate that. Make sure you're going to Star Wars Newsnet for all of your Star Wars news, reviews, editorials, information, and more. And store.resistancebroadcast.com. Do you want to buy some gear and pay for really expensive shipping? You can get some stuff delivered in time for Celebration. But if you just want regular shipping and just want some of our gear, go there. You can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey and writing and editing over at StarWarsNewsNet.com. And my movie podcast, Just Like the Movies. Next Monday, we're putting out our Top Gun episode, just in time for me to see the second one with these two over here.
John begged us to go. Please, guys.
Imagine the reviews are bad. I would still go, and you guys would be like, "No, I don't want to go."
John was like, "Please, I know you're going to be tired, but the time where they have a fan event."
And it's got the reclining chairs, which I don't know that I've done that at a movie, so I'm very curious to see what that's like.
We were timing out from
never done
dinner
reclining chairs at a movie?
Our theater in Danbury, like we joke about how awesome it is.
World famous AMC in Danbury?
It does not.
Yes, it does. The Dolby Theater has recliners in it. I saw Avengers in there.
I haven't seen we only have one theater that doesn't have reclining chairs. One theater room, and it's the IMAX, so they can put as many people as they can, literally in the same building, every other theater has the reclining chairs.
Anyway. James, when you're not reclining in your Dayton, Ohio theaters, where can people talk to you?
I actually missed what you said. I couldn't hear because my leather seat was squeaking too much. I shifted and got comfortable.
Yeah, blame it on the seat.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Meyer Trucks.
Lacey?
People can find me at Celebration on Friday on the fan stage at 1:30 p.m. talking about Rey and how she defined a new generation of Jedi. So catch me there. You guys know I'd like to talk about Rey. Also covering Celebration with these guys and just talking about Star Wars in general on Twitter and Instagram at Lacey Gilleran.
And that Friday at 3:30, come meet up with us and celebrate solo and get one of these bad boys.
You already talked about that.
I'm gonna talk about this like every 5 minutes. So buckle up, baby. That's a Lando quote. All right, everybody. We hope you have a great week. We're gonna talk more Kenobi on Thursday, where we're gonna give you the 12 greatest moments of Obi-Wan Kenobi heading into the Kenobi series. Our list may change after that series, but we're gonna give you our list up until that point. So enjoy your weeks. We'll see you on Thursday with another episode right here on TRB. See you around, kids.